Happy Monday. Um, it's great to be with you this morning. I hope you all had a fantastic week and that life is feeling fairly good for you or really good for you. That is always my hope for all of you. So let's see. I thought I had something. Oh gosh. I've already got channeling head. It was there and now it's gone. So there you have it. Let me make sure here. Let me look at one thing because ba, 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 ba. Yeah, I'm on today's. Okay, great. I haven't. Oh, there's Cindy. Okay, great. I hadn't seen anybody in the chat, and I thought, because uh, I have opened the wrong live stream in the past, and you guys are on the right one, and I'm on the wrong one. So yeah, thanks, Cindy, for checking in and saying good morning. I appreciate it. Ricardo, great to see you. Good Iggy, hello my dear. I'm glad that we're all on the right live stream. That's always a good thing when that works out, yeah? Angela, lovely to see you, my dear. All right, so whatever it is that I was going to say, I can't remember, so let's just dive right in. Good to see you, Felicia. Thanks for joining us today. All right, here we go. Mm. Hello, beloved ones. It is wonderful to be here with you in this way. I thank you for joining me today, giving of your time, your love, your light, your presence. Because as we come together in this way, we are strengthening the collective. You are giving your light to the collective, especially if you attend these live. Your life force, your love, your light is being placed within this video, woven into my own, so that all who watch are supported in their own love and in their own light. So it is with deep gratitude that I welcome you today to this experience. Beautiful. So Today is the conclusion of my series on spiritual tenets or spiritual principles. So I've tried to give you the ones that I feel are going to serve you best at this time in your world, your collective experience. Now, I did not get into some of the more popular ones or the more obvious ones, like the spiritual principle of love and giving and forgiveness and gratitude. I have done videos on those before. You can always go back and find them. But these that I have done so far are really key in calibrating, resonating your life force with the energy of this new age. For you to be highly attuned to synchronicity, not just as a wow, look at that just worked out great, and they came here and I did that and this happened and look what happened all together. Isn't that great? But that sacred synchronicity that you are tuning your actual vibrational frequency to, so that not only can you be appreciative and grateful for when things do line up, but you are the one participating in lining them up. Meaning that you are stepping into the flow of these principles, the presence of these energies. You are aligning your energy with them. You are attuning your frequency to them, so that you are co-creating easily and freely with them. Synchronicity is really just that beautiful alignment, that which puts you in the flow, that shows you physically, tangibly, that you are in that flow. And instead of sort of waiting around as if you're waiting for the flow to happen to you, you are stepping in consciously, deliberately. You are making the decision to step into the energy, the presence of synchronicity. You are engaging synchronicity as your ally. The same with trust, the same with your inner wisdom. All these that I've gone over in these last videos are the ones that you're going to need to really attune your frequency to this new age you are living in now. They are the spiritual principles that are going to be, I don't want to use the word most supportive, because you all know that I feel love is the greatest energy in your world. It is the greatest experience of a human being. And that is always going to be the most supportive. You could put your life under the umbrella of love and on the foundation of love, and all things will fall into place for you. But these tenets that I've recently given you over the last few months, these are going to be the practical spiritual energies that you need to attune yourself to, right? These are the ones that are going to help you in the basic day-to-day living. And if I were to encourage you to really focus and master one of these principles, it would be trust. To keep challenging yourself, to ask yourself if you're falling back on old habits when it comes to trust, or old perceptions, tried and true, comfortable, familiar. But in that same measure of curiosity, ask yourself, are these old ways of trusting or viewing trust really supporting me today? The way you are right now in your life at this time. And keep looking at each one of these spiritual tenets. Keep reflecting on them, contemplating them, and get curious about how you can bring the sacred trust, the sacred synchronicity, the sacred wisdom. How can you bring that elevated experience of these spiritual principles into your daily living? What part of your life or yourself needs the light of truth, the divine sacred light of truth? Are there instances, or is there a sort of arena in your life where you are ignoring your inner wisdom? Are you passing up synchronicity because it frightens you? When things or people do come forward to offer a way through, are you ignoring that? Or are you justifying turning away from that because you are leaning too far into your old fears? Throughout your history, human history, as you are known today, Homo sapien, sentient human beings, there is this old paradigm of fighting parts of your nature, conquering parts of your nature, overcoming parts of your nature. And that can bring results. It can lift people out of dark places. It can change negative behaviors or thought patterns. It is not ineffective, but it's not particularly efficient. Because in order to conquer parts of yourself, you have to subjugate that part of yourself or repress that part of yourself. So ultimately, it's a kind of band-aid, which again is absolutely 100% all right. Because you have many lifetimes in which to peel off these band-aids and really commune with what's underneath. Oftentimes, there is too much separation within. There are social norms that tell you you should repress your instinctual animal self. There is the instinctual animal self that says, forget social norms. We are fighting for this, or we're running from that. There is the higher, elevated part of self that is either somewhat connected to the higher self or in tune with higher consciousness, then starts to believe that the social norms, the part of you that wants to be with humanity in unity, that lower brain, that animal instinctual self, that somehow those things are wrong. You should rise above them. You should elevate beyond them. You should evolve beyond them. But that is not how true enlightenment works, beloved ones. True enlightenment, or as some of you like to refer to the process of ascension, you must come into unity and balance with your whole self. To welcome that animal instinctual self, to give it freedom of expression without dominance, to embrace that social norm, the part of you that needs to fit in, that wants to be with human beings, giving that freedom of expression without dominance. And even your higher mind or your higher consciousness, that is so wonderful to dissolve into the oneness. Give that free reign and free expression without dominance. Yes, you heard it here, beloved ones. Your higher self is not interested in dominating you or repressing other parts of you. Love your higher self. Even your animal instinctual self knows that it is integration that gives you the best chance of survival. Your soul yearns for full integration and balance. So these spiritual tenets that I have given you, these are the ones that I encourage you to focus on cultivating, integrating, and having a deeper understanding, letting them be more a part, a free flowing part of your daily life. Because love without trust is not full love. Love without recognizing your own power within the flow of synchronicity is not real love or complete love, right? Always trying to gain facts and knowledge to be right, to be seen as superior, or to stand out, when that does not flow into wisdom, love is not complete, right? So these are the spiritual principles that are going to help you to attune your frequency to the energies now flowing into your collective, into the planet, the ecosystem, all of life around you. And here's the best part, beloved ones. These spiritual tenets are, once you really master them and integrate them and embrace them fully, they are going to enhance the others. Love, forgiveness, giving, being of service, all the things that you are already practicing, that you already know to be good for you, you know to be true for you. All these other spiritual tenets that I've given you are going to serve as an enhancement, a way of expanding these other spiritual principles that are much more widely embraced as spiritual principles, right? And remember that at the heart of all of these principles really, yes, is love, but the biggest one, besides trust, is surrender, that sacred letting go. Whatever you need to do to get past your own fears about surrender, your own old stories about surrender, your old negative experience around surrender and what that word means to you, really work on letting go of that meaning, right? Find neutrality with that word. And if you need to just stick with letting go as the term, then do that. But to become proficient and easy with the process of letting go, that is really going to build your trust in a big way. And remember, as you're developing all these principles, you have intelligence. You have discernment. You can pause and feel and think your way through the experience. You don't have to rush in. You don't have to make snap decisions. You can take your time, do what works best for you, write it out, practice new ways of speaking, of behaving, of thinking, talk it out with a friend, meditate on it, pray with me about it. Let's do this together, beloved ones. Your world is in a tumultuous time, and this is nothing new. War, natural disasters, devastation, this is part of the life cycle of your planet and human beings living on your planet. So instead of repressing any part of you and sort of putting emphasis on another part of you so that it can be dominant, try to think of all the parts of you as blending together, that you are weaving. And these spiritual tenets are your knitting needles or your loom, and that how you are doing the weaving, right? These principles are that which will help you weave yourself into wholeness. It will help bring you the people and the beings and the support you need to weave yourself into wholeness. And as long as you are open and curious, and you maintain your willingness to stay open, then that is really the hardest part for each one of you. If you are willing and you are open, all these principles can easily reveal themselves to you, can help to show you how to align with them more deeply. And if you noticed, there was not a single mention of a spiritual tenet or a spiritual principle called figuring it out. That is not a spiritual principle, beloved ones. Because when it comes to human beings, that theme of figuring it out tends to be, it isn't always used in this context, but it is used mostly in this context, that it's up to you. The figuring it out for individuals tends to be a control mechanism. And it's easy to fall into that because it seems very productive. It seems as though you are seeking solution. But the truer context of you figuring it out is a little bit like code for you being in control. You being the one to find the solution rather than always knowing that any solution that comes to you is going to be through the co-creative process. And that's not because you are deficient. That is because that's how life works. That is how energy works. Even people who go out in the middle of nowhere and live completely on their own, they are co-creating solely with nature and the ecosystem around them. So whatever you're seeking, you're going to find it co-creatively. So if you let go of the notion, the belief, that craving to be in control, if you can let go of that, the control that is not real, that you just keep hanging on to as an imagined reality, then you will find that your life is much, much easier. There's plenty of things you are in control of. Really, you have your free will. You get to exercise that free will. You get to make choices all throughout the day. And you are in control of those choices. But it's when you extend out into the future and you get into figure it out mode, that's when you start taking imaginary control. And that's when things don't go well for you, beloved ones. So really settle into what you can control and what you cannot. And when you run up against sometimes daily scenarios where you cannot control certain things, come back to the principles. Come back to the wisdom that whatever the situation is, You are going to arrive at a solution through co-creation. And the more you welcome that co-creation and lean into trusting that co-creation, the more you will stay open and willing, and the less you will stay in that imaginary state of control, that I'm going to figure it out mode. I know that sometimes it doesn't feel like it, beloved ones, but you are all doing so beautifully. You are beacons of light in this world. And just being that sometimes can feel very complicated or isolating, or it can feel as though maybe you believe you should be doing more with your light. You're not doing enough. But please, please understand that just you holding so much light inside you, letting it radiate out without any particular focus, just letting it be, you are doing so much to serve humanity, to serve this new age. And when your day feels dark and your heart feels heavy, let that service be enough. Trust that you are enough. As you are, without any of the outer trappings that the world tells you you should have in order to be considered enough. You know differently. You are holding the light of life and love within you. You have dedicated your daily living to the service of being a light holder, a light bringer, a light giver. And all you need do is look out in your world to see how very, very much this world needs light bringers and light givers. To hold the light of love within you, to share with others easily and freely. That is an extraordinary service in this lifetime, beloved ones. Please, please do not underestimate it. But let it shine. Let it be more than enough. Right? Let your cup runneth over. Go back and watch the past videos. And let your soul, let your intuitive voice guide you on which one you need to spend time with now. Really work on mastering that spiritual principle. And what I mean by that is letting it deeply integrate into your life. Making room within you to expand on that spiritual principle, knowing that you need that energy, you need its presence more fully in your life. You are so loved. By all of the divine. Let yourself remember that each day, each hour, each moment. Let that settle deeply within you. So next week will be the final meditation on these spiritual principles. So please, when you come at the start, be ready to meditate. I'm going to just say hello, and then we're going to go right into the meditation. And this is going to be given to you so that you can invite these principles in, let them integrate more fully, and discover for yourself which ones you need to focus on at this time in your life. Have a wonderful week, my beloved ones. And know that I'm with you every moment of every day. And it is my great joy to serve you individually and collectively. Be kind to yourselves. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us today. So glad you're here, Robert and Judy. Big solar eclipse on Wednesday. Thanks, Iggy. Julietta, lovely to see you, my dear. And Kathleen, glad you made it too. I know, right? Oh my God. I love that. I love that. And yet, it's the, it's the spiritual tool principle that I tend to still reach for. Oh my gosh. Yes. And yet when I really tune in with Mother, and I can feel that I don't have to figure it out, it is just the most incredible feeling. Like the relief is enormous because, yeah, I could really feel what she was talking about. I do that. I think that's the seductive quality of figuring it out, right? Sometimes it seems like it works. Like it seems like I'm the one that figured it out, like I'm the one that did it or found the solution. But she's right. It's always co-creative. It's always a communal experience. There's just that's just how life works. It's not possible to have any other kind of experience besides some kind of a co-creative experience. And I forget that a lot. And boy, that gets me in trouble for sure. Um, Oliver, lovely to see you, my dear. You are so welcome. And Cher, it's always beautiful to have you with us, my dear. Diane, lovely to see you here. And Pamela, yay! You are so welcome. Glad you made it today. You're welcome, Angela. And Felicia, yes, I agree, very timely. Because you know what, you guys, I've really noticed. Tell me in the chat if you've noticed this as well. Since last year, this almost this whole year, I know we're not quite at the December solstice again, but this whole year, I have noticed that when I get into the mode of figuring it out, like thinking like I'm figuring it out, I feel worse than I ever have. Like it is harder and harder to try to keep doing these things that just don't work or aren't real, right? When she was explaining how it's a fantasy thing, like I think I have control over these things or people or whatever situations that I absolutely don't. And it's when I get into those behaviors that are getting harder and harder. Like, oh my God, yeah, yeah, have you really, Iggy? I swear it's been intense. Yeah, and I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Greek story of Sisyphus and the guy who was always pushing the boulder up to the top of the hill and then it would roll down and he'd have to start over again. What he did endlessly is pushing it up the boulder. I am really feeling that more and more when I engage in things that are antithetical to the energy that's really coming online here now on the planet. It's like I feel like I'm pushing a boulder up the hill. It's intense. She would turn certain things off, and this. You're right, Iggy. She did. She sure did. And yeah, Liza, same. Felicia, oh, thank you. Love getting that. Glad you guys are on the same on the same path with me for sure. Oh, I'm so glad you're here, Robert. Oh, yay! Awesome, awesome. Oh, yep, Angela, you too. I tell you, it is that intensity of effort to do old behaviors is really starting to inspire me to let them go. Yeah, I think I'm being driven to the end of my rope with those kinds of things more quickly. Whereas it might have taken years before, now it's taking months. And that's not a guarantee that I can just, let it go. Because I also have my own issues around surrender and letting go. But that does tend to be the point where I shift, is when I feel like I'm at the end of my rope, or I just get so tired of myself in a particular behavior. I'm like, oh my God, just stop, just stop. And I really make a big effort to make a shift, and I can feel it internally happening, and I kind of drop my resistance. So I feel like this new age is helping me to kind of hit bottom faster. That seems to be what's happening for me. And I'm grateful, because I don't really I don't really enjoy that super prolonged, kind of period of suffering where I just hang on and cling and cling and cling. Oh my gosh, that is just no fun at all. No fun at all. Thank you all for joining me. If you came in late and did not hear the very end or something, I don't know if you missed it. Next week, Mother's going to dive right into meditation, so you may want to get here right at 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock Pacific time, whatever that time is for you, where you are in the world. You may want to be right on time so you don't miss any of the meditation, because I have a feeling it's going to be pretty awesome. So, yeah. No bueno. It's the overthinking, Angela. Oh, good point. Yes. Overthinking. That is an aspect of figuring it out for me that is like torture. Absolute torture. You're right. Thank you for for reminding me. It's like, oh yeah, that's a good way, actually, the overthinking it. That's a good way for me to recognize that I'm in figuring it out mode, right? Like, that's one of my red flags for sure. So you're starting a new business and having a vision about it after, oh my God. Oh, awesome, Robert. That's so cool. I'm so glad to hear that. But yes, starting a big new endeavor like that, like a new business, oh my gosh. Yeah. Not figuring it out, being open to the co-creation and, just following it step by step, not knowing what's at the other end. Ooh, man, that's a tough one, but Mother has absolutely got us. She has got us for sure. Angela, yeah, I hear you. All right, my dearest ones, have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and of course, joining Mother. And I hope that today's live stream will give you wonderful nutrition and spiritual nutrition and sustenance throughout the week. And don't forget to go back, as Mother said, and look at the most recent videos. I'm going to put them in a playlist. That's my goal. So it'll be a lot easier to just access them. Seashells, can I ask Mother Mary a message? Seashells, I am an embodied channel and I do not serve as an intermediary. So if you sign up to get my emails, if you go to my website, belovedpublications.com, and you sign up, I do private sessions 2 or 3 times a year in like chunks of time. And I believe, I could be wrong, I'm actually doing one now, and there may still be some available appointments in December. So that's really the only way to ask, because you would ask Mother directly. When I do private sessions, I'm channeling her just like I do on a live stream, but you're talking with her. I've never served as an intermediary because Mother always speaks for herself, and I don't really like speaking for her. Any guidance? There are so many videos on this channel. There is so much guidance. Oh my gosh. There's just a ton of videos on such a variety of subjects. Hopefully you may be able to find one that resonates with what you're going through right now. Oh, there's 3 spots left. Thanks, Iggy. Okay, Seashells, there you go. If you sign up to the community, and you can send a message to Maya at support@belovedpublications.com. She can give you the links to book an appointment if that's what you like to do. All right, much love to all of you. Have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.